What up? What up? This is what we're working on today. Check it out. So I'm doing a Zack De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine. I'm going to talk about texture today. All his hair, all the little curly cues right there. All that stuff. And today on the setup, 9-round shader, 5-round shader, Cheyenne, 5 liner, a 23 curve mag from Cheyenne, and then a 11 curve mag are from Tatso. These two are Tatso right there. I'm starting off with the 5 liner here. 5 liner Cheyenne. So I'm just gonna start him by blocking in little hair, little fuzzies. And I'm just not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get it to look textury. So I'm not too concerned about every little line or anything like that. I'm just kind of going in there. You know, if you think about it, the hair is not perfect. It's kind of going everywhere, especially his hair. Zach's hair, it's kind of like all curly. He's got little curly cues, all that stuff. So you don't want to go too perfect, because then you're gonna give him like what I do is I just give it like that tap kind of little thing going on. I hope you guys can see this. Just get him there, and I'll put the stencil right next to where I'm at. You guys can see as well. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm just kind of getting where like my map is at. I'm kind of getting like it all mapped out. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go back through with a 9-round shader, and I'm just gonna make little circles, like a little circle motion. And what I'll do is I'll give it kind of like that impression that there's a texture of hair. So this is like his hairline. Just kind of going in there. Not trying to be too perfect. After I did my 5 liner, I went in there. If you want to see that? I went in there and got his edge up right here, like his hairline. You see his hairline. So then now I'm switching to a 5-round shader. So now what I'm doing is you zoom in a little bit. So I'm not trying to be perfect with it. I'm trying not to be consistent. I'm trying to give it like a little, like, you know, just make sure the texture. So what I'm doing is kind of doing like a circle motion, and I'm kind of like doing the back and forth cross hatching. So so I'm not so perfect with it. And what eventually happen is that you'll start to get this feeling of like little texture. You can see. I'm gonna show you real quick what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of getting that little, and then when I know like I'm coming up to where the blend is out from the hair, I'll just kind of give it like a little bit of like pepper, like dots here and there. And what that's going to do, that's going to kind of give it your texture. And the key is don't be consistent. I know it's weird to say it, but you know, every strand of hair is not the same. So what your goal is to make it look like hair. So basically you're simplifying there. You can kind of see it. You want to zoom in on that. And then you just continue that throughout the tattoo. And since it's a big black, like there's a big area of blackness, I'll eventually come with my mag and I'll eventually shade in right here. But we'll get that little, so this is his hairline. I'm just gonna kind of get that little texture going. And then, so I'll probably leave that like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back with my mag and I'm gonna shade all this black. But I wanna get the hairline first, because the hairline's it's gonna show like, okay, this is where the texture is. But this is basically how I do like most of my like, my real textury hair. You see that? Just kind of little circles like that. And I get a lot of people ask like, how do I do texture? How do I do texture? You just pull it. That's what I gotta say. That's how I do. I feel like we as people are just trying to do it like too perfectly. So what happens is like we're so focused on like, I got to be perfect. We got to be perfect. But just do it, man. Just do it, it happens the way it's gonna happen. All you gotta do is be like, I guess with your needle, know how it works. Like, feeling the needle on the skin is like a really big tool that you could have in your tool belt when it comes to tattooing. We did the texture on the hairline edge right here. But then, like I said, I went in with the mag to kind of blend the dark out. But I don't want this all black. So what's gonna happen is I want there to be some shape of like, okay, he has dreads coming out right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my my round shader, and I'm gonna kind of give it some texture where there's gonna be a highlight here and there'll be a highlight here, so that it doesn't look like just a big area of solid black. So here's what I'm gonna do. Now, same thing like I did the other one, but I'm gonna use like less pressure. Do my circles. See, you can already see it looks like hair. It looks like pubes. You see if it just kind of give it like, I'm just barely going in right here, little circles, little dots here and there. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give it that texture. Like I said, I'm trying not to be too consistent with it. I'm just trying to make sure like it just looks, the whole purpose is to make it look organically.
Are you just using black?
Yeah, this is just solid black, just dynamic triple black on the needle. And you can already see how it's like giving it that little texture edge. So now this is gonna be like my highlight area. So I'm gonna put some black right here. That way I can kind of get like that feel like there's a dread almost coming in right there. So this is like the other highlight. So what I'm gonna do is like,
so are you gonna leave that negative space negative?
no. So right now what I'm gonna do is once I get the other side of black put in here, once I get all this rest of the black, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna see if it's too bright, if it needs to be toned down. So then if it needs to be toned down, what I'll do is I'm gonna rinse my needle out. And then I'm gonna switch to like a lighter tone. So what I'm gonna do is it's probably like a 4 or 5 drop. And then as you can see, it looks really like, okay, there's lots of negative spots there. So, but I could tone it down if I'm kind of giving that texture. And remember, this is gonna heal 30% lighter. You always gotta think about like, okay, my tattoo's gonna heal 30% lighter. So right now, don't be afraid like, oh, it looks really dark right there, or there's too much black right there. You gotta keep in mind that that's gonna heal lighter. So just try to like visualize like, okay, it's a little dark, but it's gonna lighten up. So that area right there is gonna look like almost like a highlight of hair. So you can kind of see it. Area right here is with the 4 drop. And you can see this is all like the black, that dynamic triple black, and this is dynamic triple black. But so like, this is gonna heal lighter right here. But you could already see like the texture, it kind of gives it like a hair if you want to go closer in there. So I toned it down, so I'm gonna tone this down too as well. But you could already see like it's textured. It doesn't look like it's super like flowy or anything, but it kind of looks like that, like kind of his style of hair. And I'm going in just that like 4 drop and just kind of going over it. My whole purpose here is to tone it down and not to be perfect. And I gotta think to myself, like I said, it's gonna heal lighter. So don't be afraid of like, oh, it looks dark, because it's gonna heal a lot lighter than what it looks like. And I'm giving it some dots here and there. And then also, this is a good thing to add while I'm right here, so there's a tone, so his hat has a tone. I don't want this black to bump up to that black. So I don't want it to be like hitting together. What's gonna happen is there'll be a big black hat and then a big black piece of hair and then her black of a hair. So you don't want that big black area, so it needs some division. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave like a negative space all around the hat just to give some kind of division between him and the hat. Okay, so I got that blended out a little bit. And I didn't change my speed at all. So this is a 23 curve mag, extra long taper from Cheyenne. And I'm just gonna go in there and I'm gonna kind of blend in. And I have my technique in another video of how I do my blacks. Like I do like that circle motion there, or when I'm doing portraits, especially like right here, I usually do like that softer. It's almost like a pendulum, so I'm kind of bouncing back and forth on the skin like this, because I don't want to like use too much force on there. But when I'm doing my portraits, I usually use that technique, like a pendulum. So what I'm doing is I'm going to blend away. So this is going to be darker, and I'm going to gradually blend away as it gets closer to her hair. And it kind of reminded me of when we were in class. So when I did my I think it was Art 101 or Art 102 or something like that. They talked about like these Japanese paintings or these Chinese paintings. They're usually like mountains, but in the mountains they would put like fog in there, but it would be called some type of spirit, and they would kind of relate it to as God. Like that would be God in the painting. But so when you think of that, that's what I'm kind of trying to get in this concept, is like, so it's blending away. It's like when you're looking far away at the distance, something kind of gradually fades away because of all the molecules in the sky, or like the air molecules. You can't see it really because the molecules are getting so condensed and there's so many that your vision is blurred out. So that's why in like some of the old Renaissance painting, you'll see it like, it doesn't capture it like clear. It just looks fuzzy. Like there's an image there, but it's not really there. So that's what I'm going to try to capture here. As it gets darker, this is going to be the focus, and as it blends away, it's going to get lighter. So just it's up behind her. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back over with my 9 round shader, and I'm using like a lighter tone. So I'm using like a 4 drop right now. You got 4 or 3 drop, somewhere in between. And I'm just giving it some light little shades. Because if you look on the picture, it's not a perfect hairline. It's kind of like a real grainy photo. So if you look up and down right here, it's like a real grainy photo. But I'm gonna give it kind of like my own simplification of it. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna just going in there, kind of covering up the tones, the areas that look too bright, just to give it some texture, give it some dots here and there. I'm not too concerned about how the picture looks. I'm kind of making it up as I'm going, but I still wanted to make sure that like, oh, this is his sideburner here, this is his hairline, of like where the ear would be back here somewhere. So I still want to keep that in mind, because I don't want to go too crazy with proportions of it. If you look at everything's kind of settling in the hair, like I said, like that looks like a strand, like a dreadlock. These look like strands. Need some breaks. Then I kind of blended it in using my mag, but I'm on this area right now, the other dreadlock side. And I'm just gonna go do the same thing I showed you guys on the other side. But this one I'm not gonna use no mag in it. I'm just gonna use straight round shader. And it's just because it's a littler area, so I could get everything I need with my round shader. And again, little circles. Clockwise, counterclockwise, up to you. Whatever you feel more comfortable using. I mix it up a little bit. I mean, it's okay if you go like out of the stencil, because we're thinking about hair. So I don't want a definite line around the hairline. I want it to be kind of fuzzy because it imitates the hair. Alright, finished product of the Zack De La Rocha. We got the other little corn, the alote monito right there. That's finished product. Just gotta add that little part right there.